Let me try something new. Now
Oh
it's
no,
now it says now it
started.
says recording. Okay, let me show my. Okay,
That's
people. New year, new beginning. Um, more info. What's up?
yeah.
It's Big Said, the industry cosign, back again. The 2025 edition, and as y'all already know, this podcast for people that's just tuning in for the first time. I've been in the industry for a couple of years, so I kind of know people. So my basis for doing this is that I know so many people who are doing so many great things that I have to let the world know, so that way, they can be acknowledged. And we have another one today. And before I allow him to speak, um, I need my glasses. See, I'm old, so I had to put on my reading glasses. And most of y'all that know me already know I'm old. So
Mm.
Corey CL, and I'm doing a bad thing by having candy in my mouth. I'm just all unprepared for the new year. But anyway,
It's all good. It's all good.
Corey, yeah, Corey CL Llewellyn is a seasoned music magnate with more than 25 years experience as a leader in promotion and marketing within the music industry. CL's extensive resume boosts directorial positions at numerous major recording labels and reveals a go-getter attitude that propelled him into the music business at the tender age of 17. He's
Who wrote Tender?
worked with, I just said that.
It's all good.
Electra Warner Music Group, Sony Crave Records,
Yeah.
Cornerstone's 1200 Squad and Mixtape Series, and the Fader magazines. Though achieving success within all of these mediums, it is DigiWaxx Media that has been CL's greatest glory. Founded in 1998, DigiWaxx is a music marketing agency specializing in DJ culture, music innovation, and new urban culture. And with that, I want to introduce today's guest, CL, not Smooth. No, let me stop. CL from DigiWaxx Media. What's going on, brother?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me said. And yeah, man, I don't know who wrote that, but thank you, whoever wrote that up. There's some things they left out, but that's all right. There's so much
Yeah,
going on.
yeah, we're going to cover so much more. So it doesn't really matter. It just gives people an idea so that way they know what they could expect, but they
Yeah.
always expect more whenever, we start talking. But
All,
we've known each other for like, what, 2 months? No.
yeah, I'm like, man, I'm trying to remember, man. It's been a long time, said. And I want to
Yeah,
say when I met you, honestly, it might have been before the internet was really there. And then I feel like you were one of the
yeah,
first people to have
yeah.
a platform online, like when we were like right outside of Prodigy and AOL, like right
Yep,
in that thing,
exactly.
the first blogs or the first music websites, you were there.
The only sites that were up before me that was of significance, no
Mhm.
disrespect to anybody else that would have been, but was all hip hop and SOHH,
Okay,
like
yeah,
Davey
shout out to them.
P. It was like all hip hop definitely beat me to the punch. But very few. Like I came in at the very beginning. As a matter of fact, when I first came in, when we started the industry cosign, like there was no cut and paste, and there was no CMS where all you got to do is cut and paste, put it in the what's called a content management system, and then
Mm,
you publish it. Back
yeah,
then, if I wrote 3 paragraphs, it may have taken me an hour to code everything. I literally had to do it by hand, and people don't understand. I know I sound like one of those. Back in the days, we had to walk 2 miles to school, and now you just get on a bus. That's where I feel because that's how long I've been doing it. The Industry Cosign celebrated 20 years last year. So in March, we'll be 21, and I'm happy about that, still around. And
yeah,
I plan on, until the Lord takes me, I plan on doing this until I die. And I'm hoping to live until I'm like 128. But I am proud of the fact that I'm still around, still doing things, and have better things to accomplish.
yeah.
And the Industry Cosign podcast is just another step towards that. But this isn't about me. This is about you, and like you're long. I mean, you've been in the game, like you said, not as long, but just as long, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. So
yeah,
it's
no,
like,
you,
and,
you
go ahead.
no, I'm saying you guys were like, the big brothers that helped
Yeah,
usher us in, and gave us, the guidance, the support friendship, the things that honestly, some of that is very hard to find.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody's trying to
Especially
take advantage of everybody. Everybody's trying to come up. Everybody wants to be the man or the woman. And some people are just they're cool. They're still achieving, but they sort of welcome you with open arms, and you can build relationships with people for years that are like that. So thank you for all of that.
no doubt. I mean, okay, so let's start at the beginning. Like, why is C involved in the entertainment industry?
That's
What
a
brought
great
you
question.
here?
When I was younger, I I was just a kid. I was, I'm like everybody else who loved music. That was just a part of what it is. My family's Jamaican, so we played. It was always music growing up from every end, like every side. So that was just, I think, a part of everything. I didn't initially know I wanted to be in the music business. Despite that, I was happy playing basketball and just trying to find, the right girl and all of that. I was great with all of that, but was blessed in high school. Shout out to Woodlands High School in Greenburgh, New York. I was able to get an internship through a program called WISE, the WISE program, and that program allowed me to work for credits, pretty much get a work experience. And a brother that passed away, rest in peace to Ron Archer, who's
Why
actually
not?
from our town. Yeah, Ron Archer was working at Sony and provided a bridge for me to have an internship at Sony for the second semester of my final high school year. And when I went, I was rough, man. I didn't have any business experience. I didn't know anything, but when I went to Sony and it began to just be in that environment and learn, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the music business, man. It was great. And it was the little things to the big things. It was the little things, getting a box of free CDs was like amazing to me. I was like, yo, well, hold on. Tower Records, Coconuts, Crazy Eddies, all of that. This is bread. This is dope music. So that stuff, all the way to actually learning how things really worked, which were the bigger things, really understanding like this is a business. There's a finance department. Well, how does the money come in? There's a marketing department, a promotional department. How do people even find out about these artists? There's a publicity department. Shout out to Laverne Shirley and all these people that were a part of this masterful machine. And of course, working with talent, working with people who created talent, it just became my thing, and I fell in love with it. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew I wanted to be in it, and that began my journey.
Well, the funny thing is that because of course, the time we came in, we definitely had a different journey because when we came in, there was really nothing outside of the record labels and radio stations in theory. But it's branched off so much over the years that we were part of what people are seeing today.
Yeah,
And the reason why I bring that up is because specifically with record and street promotions. Now, with record promotions back then, since it was mostly R&B, when it comes to urban, it was definitely on a different scale.
yeah,
And I think that, not think, but I know that the major labels weren't really messing with hip hop until they had to. And you were involved in promotion. So, even before you got the urge to start your own company, I think we met when you started with um Cornerstone, not Cornerstone, the 1200 thing. Yeah,
Cornerstone. Okay,
Cornerstone.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Out to Cornerstone.
Um,
Yes.
like what and back then it was like kind of like anything goes because there was really no blueprint. Like even
Mm,
even like I said, even with the internet, there was no blueprint.
no,
So you basically took the knowledge that you learned literally on the job because that was still new. Even the record promotions, the street promotions, record promotion game for hip hop was definitely new. And then to work that up to become DigiWaxx years later after you've done so much within that community and
yeah,
still being around because we both know we've seen so many companies come and go. We've seen so many people who are on a high horse 5-6 years, and now you don't even know where they are, like things of that nature, but they're still mainstays.
Yeah.
What do you owe your staying power and still being able to be an entrepreneur and still not only ride the trends, buck the trends, and then still create trends?
Yeah, it is innovation. I mean, and the want to reinvent yourself, to not want to get old, to not want to get stale. You have to want to reinvent. You got to want to, like, you got to have passion about what you do. So my passion is to, and shout out to my friend Kawani for this, because we always talk about the I'll just say the genius of attention and being able to create it. And that's where that reinvention sort of comes in. You mentioned street teams. Well, street teams were, they blew up because they were visual. They were in your face. You saw posters. You knew something was coming as a result of that work or that campaign. Social media is now, I guess, like that new way to get attention. Radio has been a way to get attention. TV, blogs, and websites, and then new ways. So for me, it's just, how do we reinvent and keep on coming up with more inventive ways and products and
Yeah.
platforms, because that's what it is. We just kept, 1200 Squad it was a DJ network, and then we were like, nah, let's do a mixtape. No, let's do a bunch of mixtapes. It just became a platform to introduce new DJs, new artists, so on and so forth. The Fader magazine, it was a DJ magazine initially. It was a DJ magazine initially, and that became its own thing, and now it's become a lifestyle music magazine. But it was a platform. What we do. Shout out to Swerve and Epidemic and Cuddy and our team. New Music Wednesdays. Raymond T. That's a platform that we created on Zoom to help artists get attention and connect with DJs. We also do, Meet the DJ, which is another platform. So it's an event platform. It's our version of New Music Mondays in Atlanta. Shout out to the Atlanta crew. But that's, what we do up here in New York. And it's about finding ways to reinvent and or create platforms to help people get attention.
And that's always a good thing because we work in the industry, everybody's trying to get attention.
That's
Sometimes the wrong people get the attention, but and that's what it's about. But
But understanding the blueprint, though, is important to me. Like, I'll just say, like, shout out to like a Kanye West. Being able to drum up attention almost at any point. I think 50 Cent. There are these geniuses that they just know how to do it. Um, and if you can learn from them, yeah, you'll also grow. In terms of your own, and it depends on what you want. Some people don't want all of that attention. But if you want it, study it and start to look at and think outside of the box.
now I know that there are people that say that I guess social media or the internet kind of killed, like, in a way it now remember when we came up, we knew the artists, but artists were so mysterious. Like nobody was able to like actually touch an artist or speak to an artist unless they
Yeah,
were, even if they were at a show. There's always a VIP area. There's always a backstage. So it's like nobody's able to. But with social media, now you have, like 50 Cent, Fat Joe, all these people basically like fans can reach out to them. They'll reach back out to fans. They'll retweet this, that, and the other. And I think back then it was more of an exclusivity,
hmm
exclusivity to with artists. And with the internet, I think it's kind of lost, but it's not because it's still a platform and people can't always get to people. But as far as like what you're doing and within the promotions game and with the DJs, like, of course, for DJs, the internet is beautiful because, of course, during the pandemic, that's where like a lot of DJs were able to showcase their skills because
yeah.
everyone wasn't able to go in person. Now they could go online. How does that work into the game plan for DigiWaxx? As far as the internet in total.
Well, I mean, that's the internet obviously helped birth what we do. We created a digital record pool through it. Um, and that's become a global platform for years for DJs to be able to connect, get new music, and do all of that great stuff. However, um, the future is always rebuilding and advancing and recreating. So, um, in today and the future, you know, just adding more features on that side, but again, becoming more social. I do think that is the way people want to be able to recommend things directly or request things directly. People want to be able to communicate directly, but do it through our platform. So if you want to get at a DJ, you're in a club, why not be able to request what you want, send that art, send that DJ some crypto or whatever it is, tip him, and hopefully he'll play that song, or hopefully give you a shout out, or hopefully he'll do something to make you feel special that night or within that time,
Yeah.
and a lot more, and a lot more. I think where artists need to look at it is that there's nothing more valuable when coming up than a true spin, right? A DJ actually playing your song, but B, the information that a DJ or somebody that's out here in these streets playing music on whatever platform, giving you real feedback. That is the golden thing, giving you a real blueprint. Like, yo, you know what, B? You need to do this, this, and this. This will help you. Those one, two things could turn into a multi. Your brand could be. I don't know what Snoop's brand is worth, but he's probably close to $1 billion, and you can be that.
Yeah. With I know that with wait, I'm trying to figure out how to frame this question. Well,
Mhm.
not necessarily more of a question, but with your contributions to the industry,
Yeah.
do artists, because I know that this is like, you know, especially for people behind the scenes, a lot of people don't essentially get the credit that they deserve, and even
Mhm.
if they don't want it, and I understand it from that aspect, but are artists appreciative or DJs appreciative of what you've provided for all these years? Because I know it's like it's a sad state where somebody can blow up but without that one pin, they wouldn't be able to get there, but they would never mention that or acknowledge. How do
That's a good
people like?
question.
Yeah,
It's a 50-50 thing because for me, we get a ton of DJs that, I'll be out or I'll go and say, I always go say something to the DJ, and they'll be like, I'll introduce myself and they'll be like, listen, I just want to say thank you for what you did for me. If it wasn't for you, blah, blah, blah. We definitely get that. So shout out to everybody who does that. But then you have a lot of people that do, I would say, I'm not looking for anything, but I would say they forget what happened when they needed it. And that's a part of the game. I'm not even mad at them. It is what it is, but it is a part of the game.
yeah,
Um, so I think it's a 50-50 thing. Probably I think more people would give us credit. And if you remind them, they really give you credit. But that ain't my style. I'm not going to be
yeah,
in your face telling you what we did. Da, da, da. It's all good. If you rock with us, then you rock with us.
yeah.
If not, then it's all good. No sweat, no love loss.
How do you feel about hip hop these days as a
Boring.
culture?
I feel like it's man. First of all, shout out to our veterans, man. They're holding the game up to me. Shout out to LL, shout out to Fat Joe, shout out to Redman, shout out to Rakim, shout out to Greg Nice, shout out to MC Light. The records that the veterans have been putting out have been amazing.
Yeah,
They have the talent, Buster, um, Snoop and Dre. They have
I'm
not
in
just
Pete Rock. Yeah,
Common and Pete Rock. This last year was an amazing one because it just it just reminded everybody that our foundation is strong
yeah,
and the true art of it is still here. In today's new music, there are definitely a lot of genres in hip hop. So hip hop has become multi-genre, which is cool. However, personally, I don't enjoy it as much as I, of course, enjoyed it from my past. And the reason why I say that, there are certain artists like I love what Griselda does. I love what a lot of artists are doing. Some of these dudes are incredible. I like Graph is going hard. Pap on that side. Even like, Kendrick and my man out of the Bay, what's his name? Damn, I can't forget his name right now. Russell and um um there's a bunch of just dope artists. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the mainstream because I don't know if I can hear these songs 5 years, 2 years, a year, let alone 5, 10 years down the line.
Tomorrow.
And no hate, but it's the truth. I operate on a vibration, on a vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm just not, it's missing me, man. And I'm like, damn. But again, there was a second when I was questioning, do I even want to still do this?
Yeah.
There was a second when I was questioning, do I still want to like am I rocking with this with hip hop right now? Really? But thank God other MCs, thank God that we might call it the underground, we might call it whatever, but real spitters are coming back and being respected and building up their own fan bases. Thank God nobody has to rely on a record label anymore.
Yeah.
Thank God we have like a balance that's still there. You might have to dig a little bit to find it, but you got records that are there to balance this thing out.
Well, it's funny because I know Eric Sermon. I know he's been big on. I've seen him on several shows where he's
Hmm.
basically giving advice to the younger generation. Like, listen, I'm still on the road because of songs I did 30 years ago.
Yeah,
He was like, some of the music y'all are making, no one cares about in 3, 4 years.
yeah.
Make music, make lasting music. I mean, like it's very rare to hear something that was a hit just 5 years ago. But you can hear the from the EPMDs and all of them. Like you can still hear those songs on the radio or still be rocked at the club. The only bad thing with some of the music that we hear nowadays is that it's for the time. Because next year you're going to be in another phase, or you're going to want to hear that. You're always going to want to hear a Rakim song. You're always going to want to hear a Pete Rock and CL Smooth song. So it's like, of course we're older, so we have that mindset because we came up during that time. But people appreciate songs that they can listen to because
Yeah.
when we were 2021 doing this, we wasn't thinking about 30 years from now what we will be listening to, because one, we were in the moment, and two, we had some great music to listen to. And
Yeah.
as we're getting older and getting older, and I know that with every generation, people say the same thing. Like our parents said, "Oh, your music isn't this." Their parents told them that, and it's like, but the difference is now it's like there was always substance in the music. This hardly substance today. And let me rephrase that. I'm not going to say this hardly substance. This hardly substance in the ones that they're promoting or the record labels are co-signing, because there are good musicians, good music, songs with substance, but we don't get to hear them because they're not on the radio. And it's so crazy nowadays, and that's the only good thing about the streaming services, even though they're cheating artists and the algorithms and things of that nature. You're still able to find music. You're still able to search. You can like we had college radio back in the
Mm,
days. We had underground radio. We had the
absolutely.
club. We had the streets. We had
Yeah.
but nowadays the only thing you have is a radio station. We don't even have video shows anymore. There are video shows, but not like it was with MTV Video Music Box. We don't have those avenues anymore in the way that um, we utilized it, where we heard new music every day.
Yes.
Nowadays, like I said, that's the only thing I like about the Spotify and Apple Music is that you can do you could just put in a name and they'll curate something for you, and you'll hear music that you've never heard before, which I enjoy because I found new artists because I'm not listening to the radio like that. I'm not
Mm,
watching videos. You know, I,
right.
I, I barely post videos on my site anymore. And I used to post everybody's videos. But I don't know. Where do you think that this is going because of social media and just everything, even including AI and things of that nature?
Yeah. It's a good question. Where do I think it's going? I think that ultimately, well, right now it is somewhat of the wild wild west. You have a cultural shift in the music business itself.
Yeah.
Artists are independent for the most part, or they have the opportunity to be, because they don't really need uh, the major label to provide distribution for them.
Yeah.
So artists are like on a certain level, like they can compete, but there's no infrastructure, so everybody's putting out what they want, and that's okay. Also, what I think is going to end up happening is that one, uh, artists are going to. I think they're going to have one side of the music that's going to get very conscious, very smart, very forward thinking, very doing that. I think you'll always have subcultures of, whatever, just raw hip hop that's, again, whether it's trap, whether it's, getting sturdy, whatever music that form is, kids are always going to be kids and they're always going to create from what they feel they love. There's no problem with that. Um, I just think that people are going to have these different audiences and that they can choose from, and they're going to find their selves within those people's music, and they're going to stick with that. Um, and that's what I see now. Shout out to my kids, but what they listen to, I don't listen to, and vice versa. For the most part, I do put them on with stuff, and they'll put me on with stuff. But for the most part, I got my lane that I like, my vibes that I kick it with. Even when I'm looking for new music and talent, this is just what I'm into. They're into something totally different, and that's fine. I
Yeah.
think we'll have these different audiences. However, overall, I think that consciously we'll get. I think the society is going to start shifting to more conscious music, and that's because of what we see now. Prior to us getting on this call, we were talking about the congestion prices, right, in New York, and how that is crazy. Talking about everything slowly going up in cost, but going up. You got more people with less money. You got more people with less jobs and opportunity. You got, AI and other learning machines, literally robots, being entered into the marketplace. Driverless cars, so there's less to go around. So when that happens, naturally, you're taking this slow. They'll call it a recession, but you're going into depression, and there are literally people out here who feel hopeless. You're on the verge of wars all over the place. So out of that comes consciousness, and people they're gonna need that energy to keep them moving, and they're gonna seek it out. So that's why I think that's gonna also come back around.
Well, I want to bring it back to AI because
Mm.
we grew up and we saw a movie that revolutionized people's thinking when it came to the future, and it starred this big muscular guy named Arnold Schwarzenegger called The
Oh,
Terminator.
yeah.
And like when we saw movies like that, we're like, that would never happen because this is that and the other. Fast forward 20, 30 years later, and this is what's happening. We actually seeing robots, we're actually seeing self-driving things. And I'm scared because like when I'm speaking to people and they mention the AIs and all of these other things, and I'm like, would you go back and watch the Terminator? Just watch it and understand that that was like a premonition. That was like, this is what's about to come, where we're going to be eliminated through our own creations. But people, and I know people have been saying we have to embrace AI. We have to embrace AI. I'm like, I don't oppose embracing technology, but
Mm.
I'm kind of almost against anything that's going to eventually replace me. Now, I'm all about things helping. I'm all about things enhancing. But I'm not about like I mean, I'm a writer. Now you have AI, chat G, whatever, you have anything that you can just give them a subject and then they can write for you.
I
And
mean,
all of these, and even with there was just a settlement with Apple. They're about to have a settlement with Siri because they said they've been eavesdropping on conversations. And it's kind of funny because
just
we
eavesdropping, recording.
yeah, exactly. So it's like we're having this conversation, and then somebody in Japan is like, that's a great idea, so let's do it before they get to it. And it's like people, the younger people, I get it. But we came up at a time when it was the Jetsons. And the funny thing about the Jetsons was the Jetsons had flying cars. They had the same. They had you could view people on screen way before iPhones, way before you know. I'm just amazed that and those were the good things because as a cartoon and growing up, we see all of this. It's like we would love to live in a world like that. But like I said, but then when I see the Terminator, when I see these robots basically telling us what to do and eliminating us because they can, I'm like, wow. It's like I understand that people can embrace it, but I think we're getting to a point where people are relying too much on it.
Mm.
Where as the technology gets smarter, there's a chance. Now it might not happen in our lifetime, but at the rate it's going, it might be a Terminator situation where like they're destroying the world and saying like we're creating ourselves and we're going to do this and we can't destroy them because they're like okay we're just going to make a bigger and better unit for ourselves so that way you can't do anything about it. I don't know. I just feel like I said I'm not a fan of AI, but I get it. I don't think that I don't think it's the worst thing, but at the same time, I think it's the worst thing because people are relying too much on it. I just know too many people that are relying on what AI tells them as opposed to Google, as opposed to asking friends, as opposed to doing it themselves. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just like, I don't
Yeah.
want to have one of these things where in the future this thing comes out and then like we're on video saying how it used to be and showing like people from generations, this is how y'all used to live.
Well, well, look, I think original thought, the original alchemy of a thought is still going to be most valuable. People will use tools, of course, but the original creation of ideas and thoughts, they run so much on neuro that's connected to spirit and emotion, and it's so many things that go down for us to come up with a, you know, I don't know if that can ever be duplicated. However, if we put in our own minds that we can't outthink or we can't come up with this original shit, that to me is the real threat. Is within our own minds, on allowing computers to do everything for us. People do get lazy. People do get they get very safe. People get comfortable because it's easy. But pushing ideas and thoughts, and yeah, maybe working with computers to enhance it is not. I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, do I want to get taken out by computers? Hell no. But we have to be able to stay ahead, use the technology to create other solutions
Yeah.
um before, because like with what we do, right? um AI can do a few things. AI can help generate and I'm not going to say AI, it has to be some thought in there, but people have been using it to make music, and I'm like, all right, that's cool, but I can feel a difference. I can
Yeah.
totally feel a difference. It ain't this, it ain't, it ain't that. um but using the tool to maybe help me auto generate a post or for something that we think is good, I'm not mad at that. It's helping me do something that I'm not necessarily. I don't like always going on social media and making 100 posts. But
No,
if
that's
you can,
if it enhances. Yeah, if it enhances, I'm all for it. And of
yeah,
course, for medical purposes, I definitely would. I think that would definitely be good. And if they're making any advances in medical procedures using AI, they're not talking about it because I think that like with dementia and cancer, things of that nature, if they can use that type of technology to help us with our bodies to get better, then like I said, I'm all for it. But
I mean,
sometimes, but
yeah. I
I
mean,
was like,
if they could
sometimes
put a watch on your hand right now, if you could put a watch on your hand that can pretty much, when you walk or move, it can tell you, how much your pulse,
yeah.
how many steps and all of that stuff, how many calories you lost, and you can put goggles on your eyes that can allow you to see and also measure things within you. How long are we away from AI being connected to the body to do? Hey, you have a condition going on in your knee that could be cancerous. Here's what needs to happen. Like, how
That's
far are
what
we away from that?
that's what I want to hear. So it's like preventive measures.
Yes.
Catching it because we don't see it, and the AI or whatever the instrument does in the season. You know, but like I said, that was just a thought that came to mind because, like I said, everything is AI generated, and the only thing I hate is that when I'm watching, because I've been just watching a lot of YouTube videos lately, and the AI voices kill me. They kill me, and I'm like, yo, it's like
Well,
when
first of all the AI voices are white. And that killed me alone. I'm like, yo, why we don't have a representation for anybody? I haven't even heard a Latino one, let alone a black one. I haven't heard an Indian one. I haven't heard Russian. I haven't heard. I've only heard either a person that sounds British, English, or I've heard like today's business white man voice. What's
yeah.
up? What's up? What? And I blame us too. We got a program. That's the thing. How are we taking advantage in program? Why are we not involved in the programming? Why are we not achieving that? That's on us to
Yeah,
get
that is definitely
involved with the achievements of technology and actually being there. Shout out to everybody who's going to CES. At least you get some inspiration from there, but you actually have to learn how to code and program and do all of that stuff if we're going to really compete.
well, that's the reason why, like with these STEM programs, a lot of black kids are entering, and I'm definitely,
Good.
I, I just wish that we can, because when we were growing up, they were
Mhm.
pushing us towards like professions like doctors, lawyers, engineers.
Yeah.
But after we got involved in the hip hop game and the music game, and especially now with content creators and influencers, where you don't have to have an education or know anything in order to become a millionaire, it kind
Yeah.
of discourages people. And it's like, no, we
Yeah.
need the opposite. We need people to not want to. Everybody has a YouTube channel. Everybody has, like, all you need is a phone, have one viral video, and next thing you know, you're making $100,000 a month. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I'm just saying that, we, especially in the United States, we're losing because we're not taking care of those type of things, which is with the current situation with the incoming president and Elon Musk and them trying to say, we don't want immigrants, but if you know how to do computers and if you're engineers, we want you to come right along because we need you because we're too stupid in America in order to do the things that you're doing in other countries. And it's like instead of bolstering what we can do here, and like I said, specifically in our communities,
Mhm.
and I don't want to make it seem as if like we're a monolith, but it is a thing where kids are growing up wanting to be the content creators and the rappers and everything like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it's like we have too many. you know, even me coming to YouTube, I'm like, why do I want to come to YouTube? Even though I've been on YouTube for years, but it's like I don't want to be part of everyone else. But I've also wanted to do something that I wanted to do, and that's why I'm here. But it's like, woo, this,
I mean, you're also a journalist, with 30 years experience and
yeah,
a hell of a resume. So I think it's a little different for somebody like yourself. There's not just the passion for it; you actually have a purpose.
yeah,
You have that. And by the way, I hear what you're saying, right? So my thing with it is that I miss. It's hard for us to give real direction to each other. Everybody thinks they know everything, and it's,
yeah,
it's tough, right? But we have to keep fighting for that because if you're smart, you realize that A, we're not a monolith, but B, that you can. The name of the game is to make money, number one, but number two is to keep money. And to do that, you have to, you may have to have a couple of things going on to make sure that you do that.
yeah,
It's very easy to get caught up with the star power of all of this stuff. It's the easiest thing. That's been the whole Hollywood, the glitz, the glamour. Everybody wants to be Kai Cenat. However, the reality is that there are tons of jobs and opportunities out here in this world that make this world go round. Like you said, you can
Yeah.
people complaining about migrants, immigrants, etc. First of all, nobody's from here, so remember that. Number two, if you don't want to do the job, don't complain about the person that wants to do it. Number
Exactly.
three, we would love for you to do the job because we actually do need manufacturing here. We actually do need, coders and builders and developers here. We do need robotics people here. We do need people to do masonry work, right? Masonry work. We do need people to actually pave or to take trees and turn them into wood that we can use. We need practical jobs in addition to these other things that we want to do, whether it's for more money or whether it's for love. Keeping that mental balance is important. But if you're smart, you sort of do it all. Trucking. How many packages are getting sent from Temu, Amazon, Sheen, and all these other apps a day? eBay. Who's gonna move them? How are they gonna get to this place or that place? Uh, there's a lot of opportunity. But if you only think that the way I'm gonna make it is by getting on my phone and acting a fool, that's a lack of knowledge. That's a lack of understanding how great you are. It's nothing. I'm not saying don't have fun and bug out. I'm saying have more than one hustle or have more than one system of making money around you.
I think people look at other people's examples and want to get it the easy way.
Yeah.
Like I'm on some. I was over the past like couple of months. I've been joining some Facebook groups like for podcasters and you just to expand my knowledge and see what people are saying and thinking. And some of the questions and some of the things that some of the people are saying, I'm like, yo, how do I get 100,000 subscribers by the end of the day? Like, how do I do this? And this and that. And it's like, you don't even want to build your platform. You don't like, and it's very rare for somebody to just hop on one day. I mean, people used Shannon Sharp as an example last year with the Cat Williams,
Blew
but
up.
people seem to forget that he had a Hall of Fame career for years, then went into broadcasting, then was on TV shows before even getting to that point. So it's not as if he decided one day to say, I'm going to do this. Come on,
Yeah.
Cat Williams, let's do this. And bang,
Yeah.
100 million views.
Yeah.
No, he's done so many things before that, and everything led to that when it got to that point. Like, it's not as if, like, now, all everybody didn't know who he was, but it wasn't like he hadn't done anything before. So now everybody's feel that they can do the same thing, but not putting to mind that they have no background in anything, and then
Yeah.
anticipate getting things right away the same way. And like, if I was to get 100 million views by the end of this month, right,
Yeah.
for anything that I do, my mindset is going to be like, people are going to look at me like, oh, he's an overnight success. No, I've been doing so many things over the years where everything may have culminated where it's finally time for whatever I put into finally pays off.
Yeah.
People don't see that. They just see the success. They don't see what leads up to the success. It's just like all the people that have failed in so many different companies, that one
Yeah.
company that finally made it, they're looking at that particular company, not knowing that there was 14 companies behind that not only didn't make any money, but lost money. And I've been in debt for 15 years. And now I finally made money. Now you're thinking that it's easy. And now
Yeah.
everyone else thinks they can do it.
Yep.
Or the
And
people that give up. The people that
yeah.
give up thinking that it's supposed to happen overnight. And it's like, no, you have to put work into it. And people don't want to put work into anything these days.
Yeah,
That's my
man. I agree with you. I think, and just piggyback on what you said, like, I don't even know if they I don't even know if they should know the things that you have to do
true,
to
true.
get behind. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and it took you what it took you to get what you got. And if you're really a student, then they'll want to know and they'll actually respect it because everybody's not it's going to be set tomorrow. You're absolutely right, and all of those sacrifices, things that happen behind the scenes, man. It builds more than just a business. It also builds a character. Going through failure, going through, almost winning. Getting some wins, but losing the overall, war. those things, they really make you into a strong-minded individual that could propel you to be one of the greatest people ever in your industry if you don't give up. If you don't give up. So sometimes, you're gonna most likely encounter more failure than you are success, especially initially. But if you
Yeah.
don't give up, anybody can do anything. We've seen that. How many times are you like, yo, if I would have never stopped doing this, look at where I be now.
Yeah.
All every day, and everybody can say that about something. It's just about sticking with it, having that vision, not get foggy, trying to focus and learning, man. Shout out to, like, I gotta say, like, EYL is one of the dopest platforms that helped me, like, learn more about finance and understanding. Getting just some of the books and reading and understanding better for myself, business, marketing, finance. It's all in us. I had a tax issue for a long time. Man, I had to learn about taxes and
Yeah.
go through it. And now I feel like I'm one of the best. It's about fighting through adversity, man. It's gonna happen. Can you pick yourself up and keep going? Can you fight through the bullshit and keep going?
And I think that's the most important lesson because people don't want to learn lessons. They just want to, um,
Yeah.
and, and and that's why, like they said, the mighty fall. Because if you haven't
Mm,
learned those lessons and you get there, when you get there, you know how to get up. You know, get up. I failed so many times where I'm not gonna say I got used to it, but it's like I know that I can't be scared because when you're scared to fail, you'll never win.
never win.
So
Dang.
then, when I failed, I was like, and I got back up. I'm like, okay, I did it because
Yeah.
like between you and I, we've seen many people literally make millions of dollars and can't make $50,000 a year now. So it's like I always say to people that sometimes you won't know until it happens, and I'm not afraid of failing anymore. It's to a point where when I went through what I was going through, and I
Mm,
had that mindset that I can never, and I was, but the good thing that helped me was one, I kept believing in myself.
yeah.
Doubts at times, but still believe. And I've talked to other people who went through their things. Everyone had the same advice: don't
Yeah.
give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, and so I get it. And
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know what the future holds, but I also know what I went through in the past, so I know what not to do. And
Yeah.
that's a very big lesson to learn because going forward, you'll know what not to do because you don't want to fail. But
Yeah.
and if you're gonna win, you're either gonna win in a different way, or you're gonna take what you've like dropped the bag on and said, okay, let me lift it, but let me lift it this way so that way I can do this. Next thing you know, you're a success. And I just think that people just they don't want the lessons. And that's where you learn. And
Yeah, because I just want to say, like, it took me a while to learn that you have to fall in love with what you hate. You have to fall in love with what you hate to do to really be successful. That's the breakthrough. If you
yeah,
if you want to be the best boxer, then you hate running, you got to trick yourself into falling in love with running,
yeah,
falling in love with it. I do it every day. I do it beyond what everybody else does it because I love it, even though I used to hate it.
yeah,
If you're gonna be the greatest journalist, or if you want to do what Kai Cenat does, and you're scared to approach people, well, you got to fall in love with approaching people. You got to
yep,
fall in love with approaching people. Or if you have, self love or insecurity issues, you got to learn how to fall in love with yourself. It's always fighting through the hardest thing for you to do.
yeah,
That's the challenge to winning in life. One of the main keys. And when you do that, no matter what, you're a better person for it. And 9 times out of 10, it leads to a bag.
yeah. Because I'm scared. I'm scared to get in front of a camera.
Yo, I used to be though. I used to be like, I ain't going up here talking to nobody. What are you talking about? Like, and it took me just you know, what do you call that? When you
Stage fright.
overthink something. So when you overthink something and don't do anything. Analysis paralysis. You know, when you
Yeah,
overanalyze something that you never do it, like just jump in and try it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Nobody's looking at you nobody knows what you're thinking inside. So just ball, talk, do your
Or
thing.
no one knows that you're nervous.
No, they won't.
No one knows that
They don't
you're
know
nervous.
unless you pass out or do something crazy. But other than that, you'll be all right. But nah, that's what it is,
I
man.
definitely have instances where I'm messing up, and people are like, "Yo, you did a great job," and I'm like, "How can I? How could you say that?" And it's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, I had to realize that you know what I know and what people see are two different things
Bingo.
because it works the opposite way. I think I could be doing something great, and people look at me like, "Oh my God, you're the worst thing that's ever happened. Why are you doing this?" And people, like I said, it's just a matter of just figuring
Yep.
out what works for you, and making other people want to see you. Well, it's something like this because even when I was doing interviews for years on camera, I never want to be on camera.
Wow.
And not because and remember, I came from a background where I was in videos.
Yeah.
I was like, so I wanted to be in front, but when it got to a point where it didn't matter anymore, it really didn't. And I want to focus. Like people tease me sometimes about like how I look when I'm on camera. Sometimes I tell people it's not about me. It really isn't. It's about who I'm talking to. So I can look the worst. I can obviously I need to do something with my face. I need to get my hair rebraided. I'm not worried about that because I'm not that vain to be like, okay, because I'm talking to whoever I'm talking to, and I don't want the focus to be on me because the focus is always on me. Let me stop. But but I tell people all the time that sometimes, you can't look at people based on what you think because they may not be thinking the same thing. But wait, before I forget, because I meant to show this earlier, but
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's what's up, man. That's what's up,
what
man.
is so cold? I'd wear it today.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That was your birthday present. Shout out to said had to hook him up with a. There's not that many of those.
I'm about to say, yeah, I have never seen anybody with it, so
There's
I'm
not that
happy.
many of those, my brother.
Yeah,
That is an exclusive. You're amongst maybe 40, 50 jackets in the world,
see?
and you
I,
got one of those. So
I treat this like the old Def Jam jackets. Remember, like
mm,
everybody couldn't get one, even though
yes,
there's a lot, everybody couldn't get one. So it's
yeah.
like
The the,
I
the,
got a
um
DigiWaxx.
The Letterman joints. Oh, I wanted one of them Def Jam joints too.
Me too.
That's an official hip hop. You've made it.
Yeah,
You're part of this crew jacket.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was that and Profile. When Profile had
profile
their
with
jackets,
the red letters.
definitely had their
Yeah,
jackets. Yeah,
that one was
I
hot too.
remember. Video
Man,
Music Box had one because I had a Video Music Box one. I had a
Video
Video Music
Music
Box one.
Box's merch has been amazing. Shout out to Ralph. I
Yeah, I still
mean,
have a couple of sweatshirts and
yeah, the jackets was fire, but they
yeah,
also the hoodies, the logo. I
yeah,
mean, shout out to what they've done, man, and shout out to Ralph, man.
yeah,
Um, becoming looking even beyond and really becoming a historian, working with the
yeah.
libraries, and that's great because our stories it won't be it won't be
Conveyed
retold.
the right way. Unless
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
like
always
that.
my beef because I'm like,
Yeah,
damn, in 500 years, Tupac is gonna be white.
I
You know what I
mean,
mean? If I,
yeah,
Biggie might be like, this has happened.
yeah.
This has happened.
History will be whitewashed,
It
and
it has happened over and over again. Father people know they think Egyptians are white. It's
yeah,
madness.
exactly.
Madness.
Not really. Egypt is in Africa, but not thinking
Yes,
that
it's
Egyptians aren't black. I mean,
it's
on
just
Africa.
madness.
I'm like,
It's madness. They're not just black, they're dark black. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? But it's all good because we know the
yeah,
real. You know what I mean? You can't really hide it
exactly.
all. So I know it went left everybody, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
all
and but that's what's the good thing, and I'm not gonna say bad, but that's the thing about what I like doing what I do because it can go any direction, but
good.
it's just a matter of like if we can learn it. Like my point of view is if people can learn about what you've done or just hear you and what you're doing, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of, What do you have coming up? Is there anything going on that you like to talk about or discuss?
I'm
If it's in
excited.
the works, you don't have to discuss, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, we're doing our first music conference. I'm excited about that coming up.
Yeah.
We will be letting people know about that shortly, and that's going to take place all over New York. Man, we're very excited to bring a new music conference back to New York.
Everybody's moving away from New York. Well, with this congestion pricing, I understand now why, but
Yeah, but it's okay. What we'll keep it outside. We won't go below 60th Street.
right,
Like that's
exactly.
such a whack move to me. That was such a bad move on our behalf in terms of the people are being squeezed, and it's it's just not going to help. Prices of food are gonna go up. It's just bad, and I'm disappointed in our Democratic leadership in New York. I think we've all been just sold a lie. You know, I haven't seen anybody stepping up outside of the I think it's the mayor or somebody in New Jersey have been very vocal. Obviously, they've been trying to stop it, but to make rich people richer at this point, to take it off the backs of the common people at this point, all of this America, the free America, the great, it's just you're destroying the legacy of the country at the hands of greed. I mean, it's always been greedy, but this is beyond greedy. This is just a straight up. It's crazy, and nobody knows who the MTA people really are. You don't know how to manage money. You always need more money. There's never enough money. You got millions of people riding the subway every day. There's never enough money. There's never enough. It's
And now security has gotten worse because now they're lighting people on fire, pushing people on tracks again, and things of that nature. And
yeah.
yet you want more people to take the subways, so you want to fill the subways up even more, so that way we could be endangered more. And it's funny because I have to go into the city today, and I'm like, I'm not even going to drive because I'm going before 9 p.m. You made it from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Like that is no window. I got to pay an extra $9. I'm coming from Jersey where I'm already paying $20. Then I got to pay another $10 to come in, and then parking, traffic. Man, I'm about to sign up to be a robot.
I'm ready to. I know. I told you, I'm ready. If anybody wants to do a class action suit, I'm with it because I'm just for the people, man. And even though that can pay for it, saying like, how will people? Can you imagine what the price of eggs will be now for delivery drivers? 20 something dollars each time. So imagine what it's going to cost you to deliver food, products. If you got something from Temu or Amazon, now you got to pay a premium. Um, and I sort of hope it
Damn.
blows up. I hope it blows up in their face. I really hope it blows up in their face, and
Me
somebody
too.
just puts the kibosh on the whole thing. Word.
Yeah, they have people that sued and like they started before, but they went through with it and at a lower price point. But it's like, yeah, but that's still ridiculous. I get my hair braided in Brooklyn. I live in Jersey. So that means I gotta go through the tunnel,
Go
then pay
through,
another toll in the city.
go through canal, go
Oh,
across canal.
yeah. And then when I'm coming back, I pay another toll in. I'm like, yo, y'all are killing me. I'm gonna have to get a baldy because that way I can, not get my hair braided. I
That's
just
what
use
I've been
that as an example, yeah, right?
That's what I've been rocking with. I'm like, yo, I ain't doing it. But shout out to my man Bodie Ox. He's gonna hold me down tomorrow. Uh, Regardless, I just pray that we find ways to make the society better, man. Because this ain't doing it
Yeah,
straight up.
yeah,
This ain't
not at
doing it.
all.
How does it enhance society, not just your pockets? So
And remember,
anyway,
they're getting robots to replace us. So where are we gonna work? Rent
New York,
is already too much. You need 17 people in a studio apartment to afford it. So it's like, come on, y'all are squeezing us. Y'all are squeezing us. You either have to be dirt poor or filthy rich. There's no in between.
it's about
But
to
if you're dirt poor, you have so many services available for you. If you're middle class, if you have a job, even you can't afford to get sick. Go to the emergency room is like 10,000. You might as well go to a hotel at a luxury hotel than to go to the hospital because they charge more than a luxury hotel for rooms. Literally.
Isn't that the truth? Oh my goodness.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. I'm not exaggerating.
Ain't that the truth though? That is the truth.
It's a shame. It's like that's why people are like, you get hit by a car, you just be like, don't worry about me. I'll just limp home, because I'm not going to hospital. And the thing is, we have a government that they just care about enriching themselves.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
Because these other countries, they don't do that. And even using food as an example,
Yeah.
like there's a big thing with the cereals where they have 142 ingredients, but in other countries there's only 3 ingredients. But it's the same cereal, same brand.
Hold on, let me just
Like, why are we allowing that? Huh?
Cereals, say that you said cereals have. Say that one more time about the cereals.
I'm exaggerating when I say like 100 something ingredients.
Yeah,
There've been videos going around the internet where people are, because they have this thing, they're trying to get a bill to get the government to tell the company that they can't use the food dyes and all of these preservatives.
Yeah, because we give us cancer.
You can even go to Canada. Some of these countries, like some of the ingredients that are used in our foods are outlawed. And those companies are still making products in those cities. I mean, in those countries. But over here, they're putting so many things in our food where it could last 10 years. What food lasts 10 years?
I don't know anything that should last 10 years that we should be eating.
You know the tree that bears fruit but the fruit shouldn't last 10 years.
A fruit comes and goes. Yeah, a tree is a living thing. Yeah, outside of that, nothing.
Yeah, and it's a shame because it's like, and then they're wondering, and what people think that like people are getting cancer or getting sick because we're eating too much. No, we're eating too much chemicals. We're eating all of these things where they're even promoting it as healthy, and they're not healthy. All of these things. I'm moving away from a lot of food that if they have ingredients I can't pronounce, I can't mess with it.
What have nothing to do with it.
I can't mess with it. So
I'm with you. I'm totally
like I said, we're just like, man, it's just a shame where it's like I want to get bigger so that way I don't have to buy food. So that way by the time I get down, then maybe I can do something about it because things have changed. But I don't know, man.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah.
Africa, migration to Africa is also on the table. Looking elsewhere.
They might not want us. They might not let us come back.
I don't know if they have a choice. You know what I mean?
They might be like, y'all not infiltrating and fucking up our land and our living and things of that nature.
Oh my God. You got a point. We have to have a real conversation with ourselves and our brothers and sisters.
We got to figure it out real soon.
Yeah,
but anyway, I know, like just like you, we always have something to do, and I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and talk to the audience and give people a chance to get to know who you are, and let people know where they can contact you. Of course, you have your social media under your name. Like, where can people, like, what social media accounts are you on and things of that nature?
Yes, sir. Of course, DigiCEO is my direct personal, but at DigiWaxx is our main account, and that's across all platforms. Same thing for at DigiCEO. And you can also go to the website, DigiWaxx.com. We've been there for a long time, so feel free to pull up there as well. And if you guys need anything, man, I'm always here. Just reach out, man. It's all good. I appreciate you having me, Ced.
No problem, man. Definitely good luck with the conference. Of course, I'm going to be involved somehow. I'll figure it out,
Yeah.
Whether it's a panel, whether it's, whatever, but
We
definitely.
need you.
And like I said, I'm going to see you. It's funny because I mostly see you. We both live in New York, in the New York area, but I see you mostly outside of New York.
Yeah, in Texas. I know.
So it's like, that's what I know. I'll see you somewhere. It might not be on 125th Street, but it might be, in Houston or in Bermuda or someplace, because that's one of the good things with the industry that we in, that we still get to travel.
That's
And even
right.
though I didn't travel much last year, I plan on doing more this year, because it I can't stay in New York and spend all this money trying to get to inside Manhattan and eating, and woo. It is what it
Yes,
is.
it's nasty work out here. So yes,
Definitely. Once again, this is a big said, the industry code sign. My friends are better than yours. And if you don't believe it, I want you to prove it. Until then, next time, peace. Thanks again, and to the next time.
no doubt, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
All right, there it
What you say?
is. That's what's up.